I'm so close to being able to pay all my bills from my business. So I guess maybe one of our things will be exploring how to make an extra 1K a month. Good morning. How's it going? I am getting all my stuff ready for today. So that means we're gonna go over our tarot card pool for the day. And I'm gonna show you what that's looking like. And I'm gonna sit you all down because I don't wanna have to hold you. So happy Thursday. I almost forgot what day it was. Happy Thursday. Card is Oya. Let's see, Witch of the Air. This is from the Dark Goddess Tarot. When talking about things like inner work or inner alchemy, as I call it, one of the things that's really important is folks will be like, oh, I'm doing shadow work. Oh, I'm doing shadow work. I'm getting in touch with my inner child, my inner teen, my, inner elder. I'm getting in touch with those parts of me I have pushed down into the unconscious that I have suppressed, right? But one of the important things is to make sure that you never just like give over into those unconscious parts of yourself, that you never just let the shadow or whatever archetypes are lurking within your unconscious just like have rule, do whatever they want, say whatever they want, just like take over. You always have to remain kind of in control of the situation, because a part of you that you've suppressed may want to like burst forth and get all the things that they've desired done. But they may not be thinking, again, we talk about those long-term consequences, like the outcome. How would this impact you long-term? Like, I like to use an example of your inner child might want to stay home and not go to work today, but the conscious part of you has to say, okay, well, do we have time off? Do we have sick time? Do we have a mental health day? Do we need to pay our bills? Do we need to go to work even though we want to take a day off? And then like get to that space to say, okay, well, why do you want to take a day off? Did we not sleep enough? Do I need to work on my sleep hygiene? Did we not play enough and you're bored and you want a day off to go and explore and have fun? Okay, well, maybe we can't do that today, but on Saturday or whatever day you have off, or even that evening, we'll go for a walk. We'll go for a run. We'll go play at the park. We'll go on an adventure. We'll go see a movie. Like, you can figure out what it is that the desires are of those parts and those aspects of your unconscious, and then you can still get those needs and desires met without having to like burn down your entire life to do it. And I think that's one of the things I think of when I'm looking at some of these manifestation, and like even I have a video about creating your dream life, stuff like that. When I look at some of the folks who are in that part of the rhetoric around things, there's this sense of like, I have to get this thing, and the attachment is so much to the dream or to the idea of something that it doesn't always take into account the reality of what that situation will be like. Maybe it doesn't take into account the reality of what it would take to have $1 million, to get $1 million, to have the relationship with this person, which is why like you'll hear the law of assumption people and concept of self people talk about how you have to like just imagine and change the other person, because the reality is that you have created an image, you have created a concept. Everyone's like concept of self, concept of self. Well, you've created a concept of the other, right? And so that's all this Libra stuff that's coming out right now, is the concept of the other versus the concept of the self. That's the South Node in Libra, the North Node in Aries. You've created a concept of this other person that you have projected all of these things on, what your relationship would look like, what would happen in your relationship, how they'll treat you, all these other things. And then you clash up against the reality of what this person is like. And that's when they're like, oh, they're not conforming. They're not conforming to what it is that I think that they should be doing. Well, that's because that's your mental idea. That's what you've created. That's the archetype. That's the projection you're pushing upon them. And that's the thing. We always know that, like, number one, projections are not something that someone can carry, especially of an archetype. So if you're thinking of an archetype of like the ideal partner or something like that, you've created, like, no one can carry that projection. It's unrealistic. Number two, you're not taking into account that like there is a reality of who that person is, right? And sometimes the reality of who someone is will match up with what your concept of them is. But sometimes, and even I think this is one of the things that is also most interesting, is that I've listened to quite a few of the like assumption folks, law of assumption, concept of self folks, and how often they'll like get this image, they'll get this, you'll get your idea of the ideal partner, job, things like that, house, all this stuff. And then you'll have this kind of, you'll want to focus on a specific person or job or house or car or something. And then what'll happen is, you know, they do the whole disconnect, like what if they said things like Buddha mode and all this other stuff, where it's like you practice non-attachment. And so in practicing that non-attachment, they're like, well, actually I got something else. It wasn't that person. I'm in a relationship now and I love it. It's amazing, but I'm not with that person who was the, you know, specific person. I'm not in the specific house. I'm not in the specific car. I didn't get that job, but I got something else that was just like amazing. It was everything that I desired. And I think it's funny to me because I'm like, right, the reality of who that person was never supposed to be the one that, you know, you were supposed to connect with. It was perhaps just maybe as more of a inspiration for you to start building an understanding of what it is that you would like. But once you detach from having to get that specific thing, the stuff that you do want can actually have space to come in. I think one of the things that I think is interesting is I think that folks who do, like the coaches and stuff who do like law of assumption, concept of self, all that, I think they know this, but they don't want to say it because when someone's in a very activated, triggered state, especially if they've had a relationship end or they have, you know, lost a job or they need money like now, they need money now to pay bills that are late, to pay bills that are due, to feed their children, all this other stuff. That's not the time to be telling them, right, that like, you're not going to get that. That's not going to work. It's going to end up being something different. It'll be something better. It'll be what you actually want, but it won't be that thing. Like, that's not the time to tell that person that. And I just think it's interesting. I think it's an interesting world, but I think that working in that field, which is why for me, like, I'm never going to say that. Like, I'm never going to say that, like, yeah, maybe that person might end up being all the things that you desire, but maybe not, because in the same way that you have the ability to shape and create who you are and to change and to decide that you want to do something and then change your mind and do something different the next time, that other person has that ability as well. And it's always just this dance. Like, I talk a lot about the dance of Mars and Venus and all the other planets as well, and all the planets dancing around each other. You know, it's the symbolism of that, is that in this, that you are doing this dance with everyone else in the world and all the people in your life and the things in your life, the stuff that we can tangibly touch. It's all this dance of energy, and all of these other things have the ability to make choices as well and to make decisions as well and decide they want to go in a different direction, just as the same way that you have that authority, you have that ability to do the same thing. And so I just think it's really interesting, and I feel like this card, and I feel like her description of it, I think I really like the way that she described it, because I think that it is a way of touching on the fact that, like, respecting the autonomy of a situation. But I also believe that because of that, you can decide if that's the way you want to view things and that's the way you want to go about things, then that's totally up to you to make that decision and to say that, like, no, I'm going to fully jump into this and fully follow that path and fully have this as my belief system. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just one of those things. For me, I always say, like, test it out. And I think that's why it's really important to have tools, which is why we're doing a journaling challenge, to improve our mindfulness, to figure out what our thoughts are, what our feelings are, to start to slow down a little bit. So having tools like journaling, mindfulness, being able to breathe through a moment, being able to watch your thoughts and your feelings about things so that you can see what it is that's actually coming up, what's being activated within you. And from that space, when you're watching those things, when you can be aware, because there's that weird kind of thing that happens where it's like you're in the moment, but you're also not in the moment, because you can be aware of what your thoughts are, you can be aware of what's going on, and that's a lot of information. And that's why a lot of people get sensory overload, because having to know what you're thinking, having those activations, those triggers of things that have happened in the past, whether they were positive or not so positive, and then having what's going on literally in the moment with other people and needing to respond, and then all the other stuff going, that's a lot. That's a lot of information. That's a lot happening in that moment. And that can definitely lead to sensory overload, to say, I need a minute to go and process. I need a minute to, like, figure out what I'm feeling, figure out what I'm thinking, figure out what's happening in this situation, maybe ask some clarifying questions, you know, things like that. But when you practice mindfulness, one, it can help you to recognize when you need to take that step away, but two, it can also help you so that sometimes you can be in that moment and take that step back and say, this is activating X, Y, and Z. This is reminding me of that time that I had this going with the old partner. This happened with my parents. This happened with a child. This happened when I was a child. You know, it can bring you back to, recognizing that you're activated and perhaps recognizing where that's coming from. And then you can say, all right, so I understand that like this is a different situation. This isn't the same thing. Maybe I need to ask some questions. Maybe I need to take a step away. Maybe this is just a sign that this is kind of coming to an end, coming to a close, because this isn't what I desire. But you can understand that they're not the same, even if they're reminding you, perhaps emotionally, physically, as a sensation within your body, in your thoughts, however it's connecting to a memory within you, that this is not the same. This is something new that's happening. But then you can use some wisdom, some information from the past to say like, okay, I need to clarify whether this is the same situation, whether this is a space that I'm unsafe in. Now, obviously, if you're being emotionally or physically or mentally abused, don't try to figure out and rationalize and do all these other things. Just go ahead and exit. You need to be able to take that step back and assess and analyze for yourself. And if you don't have that maybe ability, that clarity, you definitely need to have a licensed therapist that you can talk to about this so that they can help you maybe flesh out and work through some of these things. But that's that mindfulness piece, right? So in that moment, you can step aside and say like, oh, I see where this is activating. I know the memory of where this is coming from. I get the feelings. I get the feeling in my body. Like I understand I need to take a step away, or I need to maybe try to calm down in the moment. And then it's like, okay, what choices do I want to make? This is the choice of how I responded last time. Do I want to make a different choice this time because I didn't like the outcome, or I did like the outcome last time? So now I can make an informed decision about how I want to respond in the moment now. Whether that is that taking a step away or continuing the dialogue, continuing the conversation. And so I think that's a part of the really important work of doing all of the inner work. All that to say, because all of this comes back to this Oya and the Witch of the Air and the Queen of Swords. And Queen of Swords is very clear, very direct. It's very Libra energy. It's very this, we just had this eclipse in Libra that was, like I said, I think it's a opportunity. I think it's a presentation of opportunity. Everyone's like, you're automatically getting a new beginning. And I think it's just like the example that I just stated, is that this is an opportunity of a moment where you're present and you have this choice to say, oh yes, okay, I've operated in my relationships and my partnerships, in my job, with my friendships. I've operated in this relationship with my concept of the other in this way. And now I'm here in the present and I'm seeing this playing out in front of me, and I have a choice. I have an opportunity of a choice to make a different decision, to start a different path, to start a new pattern. And I think that's really what's just showing up for us. And so it's that choice. Which way do you want to go? Anyways, that's it for this morning. I have a yellow dragon fruit that I might cut up half of. And then I also have my candles that should be set and ready to go. I figured these candles using specific, see, I definitely would need to get like the, what do they call it? The heat gun, so that I can smooth this out and make it be nice and even across the top. But this one is Mars. Oh, it smells great. And this one is Venus. Oh, I like that. It's very subtle though, which is not bad, but it's very subtle. And I definitely needed to put, as you can see, like there's not a lot of, it's hard to see, but there's not a lot of wax in here. So I realized I needed to put more wax. I feel like this one was a perfect kind of design. But I want to burn one of the candles. I need to do my budget for the month. It is the 3rd, so I'm a little behind. I need to do my budget for the month. I need to do my, what is it, new moon in Libra tarot reading for myself because I ran out of time yesterday. I need to send some text messages. I need to do some marketing. I need to get some emails sent. Like I have, it's a lot going on, but it's going to be great. It's going to be wonderful. So let's get going with our day. Okay, so it's October and I need to do my bills. I need to do my bills, self-employed, and as someone who still doesn't make quite enough money to be able to pay her mortgage. So, you know, life of a business owner who is probably going to, probably in the new year, start looking for a part-time job. Okay, I'm having a little bit of a moment. Like hi, okay, there I am. Hi, I'm doing my budget because like I said, it's the 3rd I have to do my budget. And I'm having a little bit of a moment because I'm only like $700 short of being able to pay my mortgage out of just the money that I've earned running my business. I'm so close to being able to pay all my bills from my business. So I have to figure out how to make $700 more a month. Technically, I need to make probably $1K more a month because I have to factor in paying taxes, probably, from wherever it is that I am working. So I guess maybe one of our things will be exploring how to make an extra 1K a month. Hi. Hello. Let me turn this down. I'm listening to a video in the background. Okay. So I have updated and sent out the 30-day journaling challenge emails. So that one is fine. And now it is time for me to, my open rate is 89% and my click rate is 11%. I don't know what the click rate is. I guess if I have something in there, if people click on it, I don't really know. But I've sent out the email for day 3 and I know what I need to do. So I have a MailChimp. So I really need this to be like a customer journey. They go, they sign up, and then they just get the emails sent out automatically to them. But because it's 30 days, 30 minutes, okay, it's 30 days, that's 30 technical like points in the journey. And because of that, I would need to do the $20 a month one. And I'm just not sure if I want to do $20 a month for a challenge that is free. Like I really don't have anything I'm selling through the challenge other than I guess people could do coaching with me, and I guess they could pick up like the Mars Intensive or the workshops, but I'm not really like pushing those. So I don't know, maybe I should be, maybe that's why I should be doing the challenge, but I'm doing the challenge because I really think journaling is important and I need to journal more. So like that's the reason that I'm doing the challenge. It is a part of my system, I guess you could say, and the things that I recommend during my coaching and all of that great stuff, but it's not necessarily something that I feel so like, I don't know, I guess that like I really need to be doing. I don't know. Anyways, so we'll see, I guess. But right now I'm just sending out the emails separately. I know it makes more sense to just go ahead and do the journey and to have it automatically go out and be able to just schedule it and like be, especially since it's a rolling enrollment for the 30-day journal challenge, you can join whenever, and I'm gonna leave it up forever so anybody can enroll whenever they want to and they will get the emails. Right now, because I only have 10 people, it's really not that big of a deal. But if this were ever to like grow, and especially grow over time, I don't want to have to keep going back and like re-sending out all of those emails, which is why it is important that I probably make that switch. I'm going to work on it. I'm going to get it together. Slow and steady. But anyway, so email has been sent out. Facebook group, because there's a private Facebook group attached to this. So Facebook group has been updated. So everything is done with that. And now the only thing I need to do is I'll need to edit my videos for today. I probably need to film a tarot reading or something like that for today. Something to put up on my other channel. Because I have the one that's for my daily work already done. So that one will just need to be edited and posted. But I'll need to film something for... I'll need to book something for my... Or I'll need to film. Did I say book or film? Film something for my like tarot channel, astrology channel. I just don't know what I want to do. So we'll figure it out. I'm hungry though, so let's go eat. We're gonna have a salad. We're making ourselves a Caesar salad for lunch today, and then we're gonna go do our tarot reading for the new moon because I still haven't done that for myself. And then, oh wait, no, I have a video already ready for my astrology channel. Literally, it's already done and filmed and edited. I just have to post it. Okay, so tomorrow, which is my off day, I will have time to film some videos. I may actually just do like get back into filming my regular videos. That's exciting. Okay, one less thing for me to do. Let's go eat.